guys, just Chanel here. So I am back with another video and we are going to make a healthy pizza. It will have a cauliflower crust, so just stay tuned if you're interested in seeing how to make an amazing pizza without feeling guilty. If you guys hear giggles, it's because it's the baby. If you watch my other videos, you know I'm a nanny and it just happens. You know, we have ABCs and stuff playing, so keep on watching, y'all. This is everything I'm using to make our pizza. So we have some spinach and broccoli. The broccoli's already cooked. You can also use, I guess, raw broccoli. And then some fresh herbs. I have some thyme and rosemary here, an egg, mushrooms, grape tomatoes, sweet peppers, Italian cheese. And then I have the cauliflower rice here. Now the first 2 times I made this pizza, I actually used like a regular floret of cauliflower and cut it all off of the head and everything. It was a lot of work, so I actually found this in the store because my local grocery store was out of cauliflower, and one of the guys that worked there recommended I just buy this. So I think this is perfect. So if you see this in the store, get this, but if not, you can use like regular cauliflower. You're also gonna need a bowl, and then I'm using some organic tomato sauce. I like to make my own like pizza sauce and pasta sauces, but if you want to use like a store-bought one, that's fine, or some marinara sauce or something. And then my spices and seasonings, I have some garlic and onion powder, Italian seasoning, and pepper. I will not be using salt for this because we're getting a lot of our salt from our tomato sauce as well as our cheese. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm just gonna cut everything up as I usually do, and then you guys will see what's next. Okay, so you'll also need, of course, a baking sheet and then parchment paper. This is like a major key. If you're gonna do this, like, get the parchment paper, guys. Don't use foil, don't use wax paper, because you're gonna have like so many problems trying to get your pizza off of here, which is what I did the first time, and it was just a complete fail. So you also need a cheesecloth, and I wouldn't say this is necessary, but they're really cheap. You can get it at your local grocery store, like near the, I think it's like near like the plastic bags and stuff, like Ziploc bags. I got like a whole 20-foot cheesecloth for like $2 in a pack. I didn't realize it was going to be that cheap because the first time I actually used a thin washcloth to like wring the liquid out of my cauliflower, but that's a whole nother story. So here's the cauliflower. We're gonna go ahead and pop this in the microwave for 4 to 5 minutes. You want it to like you pretty much want it to steam. So I'm just putting this in here. I'm gonna cover it so that it steams a bit. And then also put your oven on 500. Alright, I have a small saucepan here, and I'm just pouring my tomato sauce directly in this saucepan. This is probably more than I actually need for this pizza, but you can always save this and use it as a dipping sauce or another pizza. Like, you can use it for so many things. So I'm just going to kind of turn this on low, and I will be adding some garlic and onion powder to it, as well as Italian seasoning, pepper, and usually I add sugar. Sorry for the banging, but usually I add sugar, but I'm not going to do that today because this is a healthy recipe. You can also add some red pepper flakes, which I think makes it really flavorful, but since I'm going to share this with the baby, I'm not going to put it in there because I don't want it to be too spicy for her. Alright, just waiting for the cauliflower to get done. This is a super quick recipe, but you have to make sure like your cauliflower cools a little bit before you like wring all the water out of it. But really it only takes maybe 10 minutes to do this. You cook the crust first, which I'll show y'all. I want to make sure my oven's heating up, okay? And then once you put your toppings on there, like it's a few minutes. I'm not using meat. I don't know if I mentioned that. I can't remember. But you can add meat. You can add pepperoni if you want to. You can add chicken, whatever. But I'm just doing veggies, so it's a little bit more healthy. Either way, if you make this recipe, because you're using if you make this pizza, because you're using the cauliflower, it's healthy. So if you want to use pepperoni, use your pepperoni. Like, you don't have to just cut everything out at one time. All right, let me show you guys the cauliflower. All right, so I put the cauliflower in my blender. I'm going to blend this. And if yours doesn't blend like right away, just add some water because you're gonna wring it out anyway. So our tomato sauce or pizza sauce now is ready. I just turned that on low because we don't want it to bubble over or anything. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start wringing out the liquid in our cauliflower. So I have my bowl here. I like to just put my cheesecloth like over my bowl like this. And then I just put the cauliflower mix right in here. And we're gonna wring it out. This is like the easiest way. If you use a washcloth like I did the first time, it takes forever. This is only gonna make like an appetizer small pizza, like a personal pizza. So here's my cauliflower and the cheesecloth. And you wanna make sure you have this cheesecloth pretty tight, like kind of twist it because you don't want cauliflower gushing out. So I'm just gonna do this until it's like barely any water in here, because the reason we want to get all the water out is just so our pizza crust is not mushy. The first time I was kind of like lax about getting the water out when I used that washcloth, and my pizza crust was a little bit mushy, even though it was still good. Just opening this up, and you literally have like dough. This is gonna be our pizza. This is how much water was in there. For the dough, you just want to add 1 egg, a half a cup of cheese. You can use any cheese you like. I think Italian goes well with this. And then your seasoning. So I have my garlic and onion powder and Italian seasoning as well as pepper. I'm just mixing that all around, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our crust on the pan so we can start flattening it out. And then we will add our sauce. Well, before we add our sauce, we have to put it in the oven. So you want to put this in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how thin your crust is. It needs to be browned, how you see here. And then you can go ahead and add your sauce. This just helps like the pizza firm up a little bit, like the cauliflower cook before you add everything to it, because it'll be really mushy if you don't cook the crust first. Our sauce, I like to put my sauce all the way to the edges. So I'm just doing that here, and then I'm gonna save the rest of that sauce probably for a pizza I'll make later this week. I went ahead and added some fresh rosemary and thyme to the pizza, and then I'm just putting my fresh spinach on there. I like to put the spinach down first so that it kind of like the pizza sauce helps the spinach sweat a little bit so it cooks down. And then I'm adding my tomatoes and my sweet peppers. I also forgot to cut up onions and garlic, so I actually used some onions and garlic that I already had like sauteed with some of my asparagus, and I just like picked the onions and garlic out and put it on my pizza. And then of course my mushrooms and broccoli. This was the first time that I put broccoli on the pizza, and it came out really good. I'm also adding cheese to one side of the pizza for the baby, but my side I won't be eating cheese because I'm trying to cut down on my dairy so I can get my abs or whatever. And then I'm just sticking this in the oven. It only takes like not even 5 minutes for this to cook if you're using vegetables, and this is the finished product. You just want your cheese to be melted, and it looks so good, it tastes so good, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next.